Hello and welcome to an episode of Kilroy Plays Satisfactory. This is my first episode, maybe my last episode, there may be more. It just depends on how my fancy strikes me. So today I just wanted to go over a factory that I built. About last week I ran across an interesting little challenge, 5x5 factories, but that's kind of small scale for what I'm trying to do here, so I figured 10 by 10 would be sufficient. Unfortunately, due to some positioning of stuff from previous runs and general laziness, it wound up being a 10 by 9, but whatever, it still works. So this factory is dedicated solely to the building of parts for the space elevator, at least assembly. I haven't gotten as far as manufacturing yet. So let's take a tour. So you can see it's 4 stories tall. I got a staircase on the outside. I'm not counting that as part of the 10 by 9 because it's not really part of the factory. But yes, first floor we have, let's actually go up to the walkway because that's going to be a little easier to see what's going on. So first floor we have all the smelting going on. It smelts copper, smelts iron, and it has a foundry for steel stuff as well. I've got 240 resources of copper coming in, 480 resources of iron coming in, and then 240 resources of coal and iron coming in for the steel stuff. So I've got quite a few smelters and foundries going on here. 6 for the steel, and I don't remember how many for these. Let's take a quick check here. Where did I put my notes on this? I have 8 copper smelters and 16 iron smelters. Where I'm at is hang on, brain's trying to catch up. The starting location that I chose for this area was actually pretty nice because it's got plenty of resources to start out with. You got 2 iron nodes just over there. There's another iron node over there. There's a copper node out that way, and if you're daring enough, there are 3 pure coal nodes way up on that ridge, but it takes a bit of building and a bit of fighting to get to it. Also a lot of poison in the way, so that can be exciting. So anyway, moving on to the second floor, this is where we do our copper and steel production. All along here is all wires. All constructors working on making the copper ingots into copper wire. I believe I have 16 of those. Yes, I got 16 wire constructors arranged in a 2x8 pattern. You can fit 9 constructors in each row. So I've got 2 on the end here dedicated to making cable from the wire. I'm really not organized for this. So yeah, I've got 16 wire constructors pumping out 480 wires per minute. Half of that, actually 2/3, no, 3/4 of that is feeding 6 cable constructors, which pump out about 180 cables per minute. Cables go up to here, and then we've got then we've got steel production here. I've got 2 constructors dedicated solely to the making of iron pipes or steel pipes, and 3 constructors dedicated solely to the making of steel beams. All of this gets pumped right up to the 4th floor, but we're not going there quite yet because I haven't shown you this iron production, which is quite something in this tight little space. I've already passed the floor, but I preferred this axis. And here you go. A 9x4 grid of constructors for 36 glorious iron constructing things. So I've got over here is where the plates are made. It's kind of noisy, but you got a 2x4 grid of plates being made. These are on standby because I'm kind of overproducing and don't want to clog stuff further up. I have got 16 rod constructors, some of which are also powered down because I'm producing way too much. But for the most part, this utilizes 100% of all the ore that is coming in. The plates get shipped up to the 4th floor, the rods get moved over to this area where I have the screws being made from the rods. Any excess rod from the screws gets pumped up to the 4th floor, and I've got the screws split into 2 conveyors because I only have Mark II conveyors unlocked, and I'm making 480 screws per minute, so that's a lot of screws. So now we move up into the conveyor hell that is the 4th floor, and you'll see what I mean when I say conveyor hell, because oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. But anyway, this is where all the magic happens. All the stuff that's made on the previous floor gets pumped up to here and thrown into assemblers. Many of which are overclocked because I didn't want to have 15 assemblers fitting in this tiny space. I could do it, but conveyor hell makes it a huge challenge. So starting from over here, I've got two assemblers dedicated to the making of reinforced iron plates, which I need quite a bit of for several of the other assemblers. We'll go over which ones are which later for those, but then I've got over here reinforced modular frames. I only have one of these because I don't need too many, but it does require some of the reinforced iron plates and the rods. There's another one over there somewhere that's, I believe, used in the smart plating. So over here we've got stators being made. These take the steel pipes from the 2nd floor and the wire from the 2nd floor. Those then get pumped over to here to make automated wiring with the cable that come up from the 2nd floor. I've got everything set up so that if there's an overflow, it allows some of the excess stuff to go over and out into the land of storage containers, because a lot of the stuff that I end up building requires some of the excess material, so rather than build it on the fly, I just stash all the extra stuff. So over here, we've got Versatile Framework, which is one of the space elevator components for stages 2 and 3. Requires some modular frames being built, plus the steel beams from the 2nd floor. Quite a bit of the steel beams go out because those are useful in making conveyor Mark III. Right here we've got the smart plating, which is really only used for stage 1 of the space elevator, but they're a necessary component of the later stages for the space elevator as well. Actually, I think they're using stage 2 as well, but you will require them in the manufacturing of the later stages. And then here we got rotors, because I need rotors for the smart plating. Half of those rotors go out to the storage facilities because rotors are useful in constructing a lot of things, like assemblers and vehicles and other things. So yeah, let's go take a look. Yeah, this was frustrating to build, I'll tell you that right now. It's just figuring out what product needs to go where, what product needs to come back, how they need to go into the mergers so that they go out through the holes up there. Figuring out how I'm supposed to get around all this. I'll actually have a ceiling and lights and possibly some other things to some walkways, because this is a nightmare getting around. So yeah, it all goes down there. and storage containers. Everything gets dropped down, thrown into smart splitters, which splits everything up to go into its various storage container assignment. And the idea is that within probably a couple hours, because things are really slow for the really advanced stuff, all of this will be full and I will be able to have trucks send everything where I need it to go, or I can walk up and grab the various components that I might need for other things. This is essentially my home base, so I don't need to go far for a lot of that unless I'm out exploring, but if I'm smart, I will have everything set up before I take off. I've also got some other things going on. It's kind of a little late in the game, but I did a lot of researching. I was able to find some quartz, which you can't see now, but I've got a quartz plant, or a quartz processing plant, way up, way over in this direction somewhere. Ah, yep, way up there. I got quartz being broken down. I'll have oscillators made later. I got the 3 conveyors of coal, only 2 of which are being used, 1 of which for power. I've got a massive set of power plants over there that I'll show you in a minute. I got concrete being drilled from limestone and pumped over into a storage container here, because God, that needed a lot of concrete. That needed so much concrete. Yeah. And the power requirements for this are ridiculous. All of this combined takes up more power when everything's running than I am producing. But I've got batteries to help with that, and not everything runs at the same time, so consumption isn't actually too bad. But I will need to get... I might need to worry about power consumption later, but I'm working on oil production next, so that will be hopefully not a problem. But in the meantime, I've got so many coal generators. 16 of them, water cooled by 3 pumps on each side. And a bunch of batteries just over there. Yep, 3 batteries just over there to just in case I need the extra power. I haven't needed it so far, but you never know. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Hopefully there will be more of these in the future. Maybe there won't be. My time and my motivation is kind of up in the air sometimes, unfortunately. But thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Goodbye.